Right, hello everyone. Hello. Please excuse me, I'm very nervous. I've not hosted a panel in a while. Nerves will kick in, I might make mistakes, I might mispronounce names, and I apologise in advance. But thank you all so much for coming to the panel. So yeah, this is KitaMania. So KitaMania has run in Kita a few times, and I've kind of been given the mantle, so I'm very honoured. So today we're going to talk about wrestling and anime and how it influences wrestling. So you're probably going to hear, well, you probably know stuff you already know, but it's just more like a refresher and stuff. Ironically, there are not many animes with wrestling that I discovered, so, but we're going to have fun with other stuff as well, especially with fan stuff, and, well, we're going to go through to it. But, right, where is my clicker? But yes, before the panel begins, let's play the current wrestling anthem. You've got to clap along.
I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Love Paris, Tokyo. Joe Hendry.
Who this wrestler is, to those who don't know. As you can do here, his name is Joe Hendry. He is currently with TNA and kind of works with WWE. It's like a new contract they have negotiated. It's one of a kind where he can bounce between one and the other. Literally, as you say his name, he appears. And that song debuted in the UK charts, I think at number 4 or number 6, because that was the campaign for this song to be played. And that's why he's famous. His famous pose is literally he just turns around and just like faces the camera like that. It's perfect. No, it's so good. So he is literally currently the in thing, and I thought I had to include him because I think I would be chastised if I didn't. So we will have other videos in the panel as well. So let's talk about me, because it's why I'm running this panel. So yeah, I've been a wrestling fan for 20 odd years now. My first pay-per-view was Royal Rumble 2001, so it's like exactly the best one to start off with. I didn't start it then. Literally, I think I watched Sunday Night Heat the December before. I was just sick one day and I was just like, what's on Channel 4 at midnight? I don't have to go to school the next day, and then I literally just fell in love with wrestling. Going to an all-girls school was quite fun at the time because people were just like, you can't like wrestling, you're a girl. I was like, watch me, you know. I didn't care. I do wrestling reactions, mainly big stuff that happens. The most recently seen as retirement, and Wyatt's and various things, the bloodline, that was very popular. I also react mainly to Wrestle Talk stuff, if people are fans of Wrestle Talk. I react mainly to their Monday Night War videos that they're doing. And it's a weekly thing I do each time, and the odd video that they say, can you just react to it? And they're totally fine with it. I'm friends with like a couple of them, which is cool, and they're like, no, carry on, we love you doing it. So I know some people reactors are a bit, but it's just like, no, it's fine. I wouldn't do it if they didn't want me to. And I have been to a few of their watch-alongs, and you can kind of see me in the background. And I'm actually in, when CM Punk returned, I am in one of WWE's videos as part of the watch along. It's so surreal, it really is. You just see me for like 1 second, but even so, it's just like, I made it. And also, I'm part of Punk Mania UK. You might have seen they have flyers in all the con bags. I have more as well if you want to have them after. But yeah, and just talk about wrestling. I'll talk more about that later. And yeah, I'm a cosplay photographer, so you're going to see me run around all weekend with a camera with a giant bag on my back. If you just want to say hello and talk wrestling, I am happy to talk about wrestling because I absolutely love it. Right, and also, as you can tell by the shirts, I am a massive Rhea Ripley fan. Oh yeah, to be fair, Falfone, Claire made this for me when I did a stream, and they were like, can you, we could have included that. I'm like, I had to, because I was trying to not pick Rhea in the end. It's like, pick Rhea. So, okay, so in the panel today, we don't have Nishi, that anime unfortunately, I just had to include you, but because it makes sense. But in the panel today, anime fans you should watch as a wrestling fan, miscellaneous wrestling information, so fan art and stuff like that, and various other things, and wrestlers who are anime fans / geeks, because there are a lot of them I have found, and links, plug socials, etc. Right, so basically talk about how it kind of began while wrestling was mainstream in anime, and it started with this man. And it began Ricky Dozan. So he was like a very big name in Japan, kind of like the big stars you see on TV now. I can't think of any to mind, but it was kind of, he was the big thing. He was born in North Korea, even though he was famous in Japan, but, and then, yeah, born in 1924. Began as a sumo wrestler in the 1940s before becoming a professional wrestler in the 1950s. And this was the match that made him big. It was against the Sharp Brothers, which I think Canadian tag team, with his tag partner Kimura Masashiko, with NHK and Nippon TV broadcasting the fight for everyone to watch all over Japan. And he's been in a lot of animes, he's been in a lot of posters as well. You might see him like posing, like that classic pose there. And I think I have one more fact. Yes, became a household name thanks to his matches. I think he then became an owner of hotels and became like a businessman, because like wrestling doesn't last forever, and you know you need to have something to keep you going. Some wrestlers either carry on the business or they decide I'm just going to do this, and that's what he did. Right, so on to wrestling animes you should watch. Now I have watched some of these, but I have done studying in regards to this. But the classic we start with is Tiger Mask. And this is not the first time it will be featured. So it was released in 1969 until 1971. Sub only at the moment, this was never dubbed. And then it has 105 episodes and 2 movies. The 2 movies are Tiger Mask and Tiger Mask War Against the League of Masked Wrestlers, both released in 1970. The character Tiger Mask was licensed by NJPW or New Japan Pro Wrestling and was used as the main character for the anime. So Tiger Mask is quite famous in Japan. I have a video later on to show promotion-wise, but this was the inspiration behind it. And Naito Date, I think that's how you pronounce it, is the main character who was a heel, now turned face as he wants to be a good role model to children. And that's the premise of the show. Pretty much, he just wants to be a good example to kids, and there's a reason why. But he does have a heel side, and that shows when pushed into corner, as he was trained in like illegal moves and could kill you, pretty much, if he wanted to. And also, he donates all his money to charities. Also the fact that there are people he owes money to who actually want to kill him because he doesn't give the money to them, but to the charities instead. And I learned back in 2010 and 2011, people donated to children's shows under the pseudonym of Naito Date, because that was what he did in the show. And yes, some of the matches here are brutal. I have some examples here. So, people stabbed with chairs, eyes gorged, Keith ticked in, and you know, like the ring ropes? So hands literally dragged across to the point bleeding and breaking and whatnot. It is brutal. I watched it and I was just like, oh god. It's like if you've watched AEW and you've watched... Yeah, it's worse than that. And yes, the English translation is currently incomplete. I think there's only 70 odd episodes that have been dubbed, or no, subbed. Everything else is raw, sadly. And then we move on to the current Tiger Mask, which is Tiger Mask W. So I have actually written a synopsis of this somewhere. So this is based 40 years after Tiger Mask, and there is another character Oh, so it's released in 2016 till 2017. There are 38 episodes, all on Crunchyroll, all subbed. And then this is the sequel to the original anime. Now, there is Tiger Mask 2, but according to a lot of people, it is not the sequel because it's pretty much in a parallel universe, and it's not really classed as that. This is more the sequel. But it does feature and talk about characters from the original show and the same voice actors as well. The main protagonist is also called Naito, and the antagonist is Takuma Fuji. So basically, the premise of the story is Takuma's father. It starts off where his dad is pretty much he can't wrestle after the match he has against this other wrestler, and they kind of go down the idea of trying to not avenge. Well, Takuma wants to avenge him. He goes kind of the dark side, hence the fact he's called Tiger the Dark. But Naito kind of wants to get revenge in a nice way, and then he becomes Tiger Mask. So Takuma kind of goes down the bad route of learning the illegal moves, and he earns the title of Tiger the Dark through like a horrible company that kind of wants to take over. And yes, it features a lot of NJPW wrestlers, and I have a few here. So you have Okada, you have Tatsuya Naito, Tamatonga, Kenny Omega, who we will talk about as well later on in this, and also, who else did I put? Evil and Kota Ibushi. Also, so to help promote the show, Kota Ibushi wrestled as Tiger Mask on King of Pro Wrestling 2016. I have a video which I'll show in a minute. It also features other wrestlers. So can you have a guess as to who these two might be? There you are. Yeah. But they are not called that. So Charlotte is called Queen Elizabeth. I think at the time she was still alive, but yeah. And Becky Lynch is Payne Fox. And I think in this, Charlotte does win, from what I remember. But it is, yeah, pretty much everyone in the comments is Charlotte and Becky, because obviously I think at the time there was that big rivalry. And then this video is just pretty much promoting the Tiger Mask video.
現在放送中のアニメ、その世界から現実に飛び出してきた主人公こそタイガーマスクダブル。昨年10月にデビュー。これまでわずか3試合ながらリングに上がるたびに強烈なインパクトを残してきた。アニメの中でしか見られない4次元殺法を次から次へと繰り出し見る者の度肝を抜く。まさに夢の形をした虎が王者岡田と一騎打ち。
So pretty much, the other two wrestlers you saw are characters from the show. So Juice Robinson is Red Death Mask, which is the one you saw, like the kind of red outfit, and ACH is Tiger the Dark. So I think there was only a few matches involved in that, but they have pretty much taken over those personas moving forward. So, next anime. I don't know if any people have seen this or not, but Kick Hard. This is a love story between a wrestler and a nun. Yes, I know that sounds ridiculous, but the thing is, the nun is also a wrestler who moonlights as a wrestler. It's really fun, but she moonlights as a wrestler and they fight each other, and pretty much they're fighting for money. So yeah, this was released 2013, and it's very short, literally only 13 minutes long. And it's created thanks to funding through Kickstarter by Production IG Studios. And actually, it kind of, it helps, it was the first successful anime project to be funded, which helped other creators going forward with Kickstarters. Because I know nowadays people use Kickstarter to help things start going. And this was the one that kind of opened the door for it all. And it's been screened at many festivals, including the BF5 London Film Festival, and I think Anime Expo as well, back when it was released. And it's only 12 minutes long. So the beauty of it, you can watch it on YouTube. So if you want to watch it after, it's very surreal animation. If you're into that, it's kind of very sort of, yeah. I would recommend watching it. It's very good. Right, who has seen this? I mean, you could not include this. So, Ultimate Muscle. So it's basically Kid Muscle's been summoned to protect Earth from the DWP, who plan to achieve Ultimate Muscle, which is hidden power that makes Kid Muscle almost an impossible opponent. This was pretty much my first introduction to anime wrestling. And yes, I have watched the 4Kids stuff. And it kind of opened up, I think this was like one of the first few animes I did start watching. I haven't watched it all, but at some point I will do. So yeah, this was released in 2002 till 2003. There are 77 episodes in total and all dubbed under 4Kids. So if you, I mean nowadays it probably is bad, but at the time I did enjoy it. This is the sequel to the 1979 Kitacon series, which Kid Muscle's dad was the protagonist. Kitacon was never dubbed, so I think you can watch it. I don't know how you watch it at this point. But yes, faction features parodies of the NWO faction with DWP and is set in the wrestling world of the Intergalactic Wrestling Federation. That's from the theme tune. As a lot of 4Kid dubs, there is a lot of censoring, because 4Kids loves to censor. I still can't get over Sanji having a lollipop instead of a cigarette, though I still love the 4Kids, the One Piece opening theme, still brilliant. So, examples. So the symbols on the wrestlers' foreheads were removed. Ironically though, for the Japanese wrestlers they were removed, but for the English ones they weren't. I don't know, I think it's because they had K or letters instead of kanji. And ironically, when he powers up, it appears. So maybe that's why they did it, I don't know. Then there was, let me have a look. Violent scenes were censored as always, and then crude stuff as well. I think there's one scene where Kid Muscle is wetting himself and they put like a blind and white light to make it look like, nah, he's fine, he's doing okay. So, and also, do I have another slide? Yes. Yes, so the finishing move Kid Buster uses, the Muscle Buster, is used by Samoa Joe. I don't know if he still uses it to this day, but he did confirm this on Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast that he got the inspiration because he loved Ultimate Muscle. And yeah, the complete series is available on Blu-ray if you want to buy it. I think it's like £60, I think. And yes, there is a new series called Kitacon Perfect Origin on Netflix, which is the sequel to this show. I have not watched it, but I have heard it is a good show, which is great. You're probably going to hate me after this, but I have to play the very infamous clip that he plays in every episode of him singing about food.
Do you know what this means, sweetie?
I'm afraid it means that a song is imminent.
You're right! Time to sing for my supper! With my rice I like to have some cow, cow, cow. It tastes so very good, I don't know how. It's my favorite form of chow, chow, chow. Wow, eat now.
This was in a lot of the episodes, and actually the kanji was removed from the background as well. So, right. Other animes that you should watch, and I have made notes because I haven't watched all of them, but I wanted to talk about them in brief. First one is Baki. This is brutal, I will say. So the plot is Baki Hanma trains with an intense focus to become strong enough to surpass his father, Yujiro Hanma, the strongest fighter in the world. It is on Netflix. I think there's like 2 seasons if you wanted to watch it. And next one, which I did watch an episode of for the first time, and I was just like, oh dear Lord. And I don't watch these animes, but I gave it a go. But it is I will put my hands up. I hate izakais. I really cannot stand them. But it's just like, it's wrestling. I have to give it a go. I mean, after like, there's no, when he was summoned. So basically the plot is, he's a wrestler who's summoned into a fantasy world with a destiny to slay monsters inhabiting the realm. But he loves animals, so he rejects that destiny and takes to raising the monsters as pets. As you can see, these are like, it is fan servicey, I will say that. Especially the first episode where he pile drives or does a back pile drive on the princess and you flash. But yeah, I will give it a go, but it won't pretty much be like, I'm going to watch every isekai if I can, but that's just me. The next one is one I have watched because I used to host an anime podcast and it was one of the shows we had to watch. And it's I Want to Be the Strongest in the World. This is also another kind of fan servicey one, but it is mainly female. That's why I wanted it. It's not just all men. There are wrestling animes. There are mangas as well that does focus on relationships with wrestlers, but we're more on animes today. So this is basically about a pop idol in the middle, Sakura, who is in a famous pop group, but becomes a wrestler because one of her friends is also a wrestler, but is beaten up very badly by, I think, a rival from another group. So she basically becomes a wrestler to avenge her friend. And it's just basically learning from there how she grows to become a wrestler and carries on from there. And I think it's on Crunchyroll, from what I remember. But yeah, definitely one you should watch at some point, again, if you want to. But yes, wrestlers in animes. One will be controversial. I've already talked to someone about this because he said to me, but in the panel. Hey, Chris. Right, okay. So talking about before, wrestlers have appeared on animes featuring wrestling. Minoru Suzuki, also known as Murder Grandpa, because he literally will destroy you. So he was in, and also does anyone know the female wrestler Maki Ito? Yeah, she had a match with him recently at the TJPW Grand Princess, and yeah, it was very bloody. I haven't actually watched it in full, but I have seen like clips of it, and it looks brutal. But yes, he has appeared in One Piece. This was, I think, I did write it down, what episode it is. But yes, he ends up fighting, I forgot his name. That's it, yeah. And his character was actually called Minoru Kazano, but he is voiced by Suzuki and is based on him. Also, in the last photo, you might have noticed, you see his hair? That is basically based on the Devil Fruit, because he is a fan of One Piece, and as you can see, it is kind of embedded in his hair, which is really cool. I have fun facts about him. So basically, he was also the motion capture actor for King. I only learned about this recently, and it was like really cool to learn about this. I don't know if he's like for the whole series, but definitely for the first few games for sure. This next fact is so dumb, but I love it because I found out through it thanks to Wrestle Talk. But this is based on Tekken more than anything. So speaking of Tekken, Mokujin was the inspiration for Ken the Box from Chikara Pro Wrestling. I watched a match of this recently, and that's something you should be kind of frightened of because there is literally blood coming from his eyes. I don't know why. It literally, he faced a mummy. I think Chikara Pro Wrestling was one of those shows that's like, you just watch it and just switch your brain off pretty much. And I learned through that. It was the Mecha Mummy, that was it. Thank God I actually looked at my notes. Next one. Something Cody Rhodes, because we know the meme. He was in Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix, and this was his character. He did play himself, and this is one of my favourite clips. Every time I watch it, I just burst out laughing. There is swearing, and I apologise in advance. So.
That's a fucking frog.
It's just so surreal because, like, in AEW he was like this grrr, and then in WWE he is literally like the Messiah, and like kids love him, but it's just so funny to see him swear. And then another character who was in Captain Laserhawk, Kenny Omega. Like I said, he'll be featured a lot in this. And he literally was in this to, he was in a wrestling match and then promote a drink that sold like these glasses, which is in effect what leads to what happens in the story. I will not say what, but it's only 6 episodes long, Captain Lasercorn, but you should, Lasercorn, my brain's gone. Watch it for Rayman alone. And I mean Rayman, the character, because it is pretty much on Ubisoft characters. Honestly, by the end of it, at the beginning you don't like him, but in the end, you love him. But yeah, I would say watch it. And they're only in 1 episode, but still worth watching it along for both of them. And they're both voiced by Kenny Omega and Cody Rhodes as well. And then Justin Liger. And in the anime, Justin Liger. Because I was going to feature this as a what animes you should watch, but it's literally just him as a superhero, and this is pretty much it. So that's why I thought, well, he becomes Justin Liger or Justin Liger, so it's easy to do that. Okay, I know this is debated on, but Mick Foley, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know people are like, it's a cartoon, it's an anime, but it's just like, my panel, I don't care. So, he plays the boulder. Yes, he plays the boulder, though, ironically, it's based on The Rock. So it's very confusing that you have Mick... There you are. Literally, I never thought of that, well done. Yeah, so I find it funny that Mick... I think he's in a few episodes of it. I don't know, I haven't watched Avatar, I'm sorry. I will, I promise, but yeah, that was something I had to include in this as well. This part is my next favourite part because I'm so happy to be talking about this. So, what if WWE was an anime? Oh no, this is going to be fun. So, I want to feature an artist, and his name is Norberto. I did reach out to him and I said, can I feature you in my panel because I really love your work and I want to share it. So he basically started last year properly like drawing real big storylines and promotional posters of stuff happening in WWE. And yeah, he draws it in his own anime style, which is incredible. Those are his details up there. Also does commissions as well. I really need to get a commission from him at some point. And WWE actually retweeted or put a post of his artwork. I think it was with Paul Heyman saying to Solo Sikoa, "You're not my tribal chief," if people are up to date with the storyline. But I wanted to feature in particular WrestleMania because he done a whole, and this isn't even all of it, I'm just featuring some of them, but it was to do with The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and Seth Rollins. So pretty much he did an amazing storyline to it all. This was the WrestleMania promotion, which I stayed up late to watch, and I was just like 2 o'clock in the morning, like, oh my god, this is incredible. So this is basically the storyline of, originally Cody won Royal Rumble and he was going to face off against Roman, and then there is a documentary on this on YouTube now, and then he said, no, The Rock can have it, and then it led to this tete-a-tete of like, I'm going to take over, and then Seth got involved because, why not? And then we have a continuous storyline. So I love the Shield. I'm a massive Shield fangirl. And then I just love this because this is when Seth was telling Cody, I kind of made him who he is. Literally the beginning and how he was the tribal chief, which is amazing. And then basically saying, when it comes to him, you can't fight him. And I love the line, there is only one man on earth who is uniquely suited to be your Shield. And there is a slide later on. What else is next? Yes, it is. So this is there is more. There was the fight between Rock and Cody as well. There was like 3 more panels, but I would encourage you to follow him on Twitter. I'll bring back the slide in a minute to get his details. But this was like WrestleMania main event, which I lost my voice watching because I went to a watch along to watch this. And when Cena turned up and then Undertaker, I was just like, that's it, game over. And then Seth turned up in his Shield gear, and when I heard the Shield music, I nearly flipped the table. Because I was just like, no way. And then finally got the win. There is another picture of him holding the title, which is beautiful. But there is other artwork as well, which is, so you have the Royal Rumble, the men's and the women's Royal Rumble, which literally does this within days, if not like less than that as soon as it's done. So you have like the men's and then you have the women's. And then we have Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. I love the Wyatt Six in WWE at the moment, and I really loved Bray Wyatt when his stuff was... Oh god, oh yeah, it's really good. If you go out of your way to watch it, it's fully on YouTube against I forgot, Alpha Academy, and it's Chad Gable, that's it, there we go. And speaking of White Six, this was done pretty much not long after they debuted for the first time. I'm still terrified of Nikki, Sister Abigail. Love this one, because this was a while back where Becky Lynch punched Dominic Mysterio. Yeah, I know, revenge for Rhea, because, And speaking of, I love this. I think that was from Backlash, because that was in Australia, I think so. Yes, it was, because that was the one we were able to watch in normal time. And yeah, artwork is incredible. You can find them on Twitter. If you go to WWE as well, it features a lot of their work, and a few wrestlers and superstars have retweeted his work as well. If you're watching, thank you for letting me use your artwork. And yeah, so this is another fun part. Wrestlers who are anime fans and geeks, and there are a lot, and I couldn't fit every one of them in. And we're going to start with video, which kind of somewhat made it very mainstream on the biggest stage of them all, WrestleMania. We're just going to hear Michael Cole mention the Dragon Ball Z character.
They need some milk.
They do. I know, but to be fair, I will bring up another, because Kenny Omega is featured again, and when they mention his character, and it's just like, this is weird, it's like worlds colliding. But I have a ton of photos to show of these wrestlers in their cosplays. Xavier, I couldn't add them all in, but pretty much he does go to Dragon Con every year. He runs his own channel called Up Up Down Down, which he does Mind GM mode with Tyler Breeze. He also has a PhD, which is really cool. And he is awesome. I have interacted with him. It's weird, on Twitter many years ago, he uploaded the video and he's like, okay, make music out of this. And it was like Kofi Kingston dancing. And I tagged him, I think it was Rockefeller Street, because it was popular at the time. And then he tweeted back at me, okay, I raised this and that, and it's like, your turn, your move, Manga Girl. I'm like, okay, which is awesome. So, and I have talked to him on DMs as well, because I'd won a game but I couldn't play it, so I was like, just give the code to someone who can. He's like, oh, thank you. So he is a really awesome dude. I love New Day, I think they're incredible. I do wish Biggie, I know Biggie's not 100%, and I know Odyssey Jones is now taken over, so that we'll see how that goes. Right, okay, let's go on with how many cosplays they've done. There's quite a lot, so I'm going to go through. There is a lot, and this is like page 1. Okay, so from the top. So you have the New Day as X-Men, so you have Kofi as Wolverine, Xavier as Xavier, and Biggie as Magneto. And then in the middle, so the guy you will see, like, who is the Darkwing Duck, he makes a lot of Xavier's costumes. He is a cosplay maker. His name is Mikhail Mosley, and they're very good friends. So in the middle, I don't know Fire Emblem, so if I get the names wrong, I apologise. But Setef and Claude from Free Houses, I believe. And then top right, it was promoting Mortal Kombat 11 at the time, because Ronda Rousey was the voice actress of Sonya Blade. So Kofi is Shang Tsung. Why did I put that twice? And Xavier is Shao Kahn, and Selena Vega, who we'll see soon, is Jade. Then the bottom we have Kofi as Raiden from Mortal Kombat. Powerline and Darkwing Duck, which is a very unusual combo, but I'll accept it because Goofy Movie is one of my favourite movies, and Darkwing Duck is an all-time classic. And then as Mojo Jojo from the Powerpuff Girls. There you are. Also, he doesn't just cosplay other characters, he cosplays a lot of other wrestlers as well. So, again, we have a lot more. Yes, and if you know who they are, I love you so much for that. So we have Nikki ASH and Captain Holly, or Mighty Molly, that's it. The Brood, which I know Gangrel came back on AEW recently, which was amazing. And then Team Bad, who were a a trio tag team at the time of Naomi, Tamina, and Sasha Banks / Mercedes Moné. Then we have on the bottom left Xavier as Asuka and Mikal as Charlotte Flair. And then the Iconics, who I love and I miss dearly because they're not in WWE anymore. So Xavier is Billy Kay and Mikal is Peyton Royce. And so, have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV? They did promote this on WrestleMania. They actually came out in this, and I think they threw out candies and whatnot, and even I was just like, oh my god, this is incredible. But yeah, I love the fact that they are big geeks and they get to share this in the big stage, and pretty much WWE are like, yep, do whatever, you're awesome. I think this is the same WrestleMania where Hardy Boys came back, because they hosted WrestleMania at this point. And then next we have another wrestler, so formerly known as Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, who has also done a lot of cosplay. She is a massive anime fan and loves Sailor Moon, to the point that she wore the Sailor Moon attire to Royal Rumble 2022. Wonder Woman was the first women's Royal Rumble in 2018. And then her biggest inspiration, Eddie Guerrero, who got her pretty much into wrestling to begin with. And Eddie Guerrero is one of my favorite wrestlers as well, so I truly, yeah. And I thought it was incredible that she did this. I think this was one WrestleMania, and this is Snoop Dogg, because Snoop Dogg is her cousin, and came down to the ring. Yeah. Yeah, I think cousin. I know they are cousins, but I don't know the lineage of like second cousins and stuff like that. But yeah, they are related. He actually came down. I mean, Snoop Dogg has been in a lot of WrestleManias. Famously did a drop kick on The Miz one year because. Why not? No, it's actually because Shane McMahon got injured. So that's the reason why it was like, do something, okay. And also she has done a lot of other cosplays as well. So actually of late, it was 2 weeks ago at San Diego Comic-Con, she came out as Poison Ivy. It was to talk about, it was the AEW panel. She is currently in a feud with Britt Baker. And the wrestler on the left is known as Camille, who is now like her bodyguard, so to speak. I don't know the name of their faction, but they came out as Poison Ivy and Bane, and yeah, pretty much interrupt and start the match for All In, and I'm looking forward to that match. Then she has cosplayed as the Bella Twins, but it's pretty much they're twins, so you could just pretty much switch either or. I think there's like one of the when she's first started in WWE, but she has done a few more costumes, and I do like Sasha Banks. I have actually cosplayed at her, I think at Kitacon one year, and she retweeted it, and I was just like, ah. I was really proud of that as well. Next wrestler, he has been mentioned a few times already, Kenny Omega. He is a huge fan. He does stream every now and then because he is currently out with an injury at the moment, so we don't know when he will be back. But this is, I think, promotion for Street Fighter. A lot of these are promotions as well that they did, and I think Kenny Omega does do this a lot. But this was so he's with the Young Bucks, so the Young Bucks are Ryu and Ken, and he is Akuma. I haven't played this game, so I don't know the character, but this is from Destiny. I think the song is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. There are other photos as well where he just posed beautifully, because Kenny Omega is just like, I'm here for it, it's amazing. Again, another game I haven't played, Like a Dragon, he cosplayed as Ishin. And that was like the best photo I could find of him. So, also, he has cosplayed as Sephiroth. His finisher, one of his finishers is actually called One Winged Angel. So it's really cool. He also has another one called V-Trigger as well. I don't know if he still uses it. Now, I don't have a clip, I wish I did, but Sans from Undertale. He literally came out, like as Sans. It was brilliant. Pink slippers, everything, and then the commentator, oh, well, you can actually tell, that's Sans from Undertale, and I'm just, his promo video at the beginning was Undertale style graphics, talking about he's going to defeat the enemies, and then suddenly a sock is thrown in his face, and he's like, I'll put a sock in it, and then he came out as Sans. And I have seen crowd reaction videos, and people have just done the sort of laugh in the background. It's so funny. The last wrestler is Jade Cargill. Now, Jade Cargill, she, I'm not gonna lie, she is very good looking. Like, I love Rhea, but also, my God. She was a personal trainer before she became a wrestler, was with AEW, and is now in WWE. She is currently with Bianca Belair, thank you, and now Naomi. I think they're kind of sort of a trio tag team at some point. But yeah, this is her as Chitara from Thundercats. And then Mirko, I think, from My Hero Academia. They did a tour in Japan recently, and she did re-wear this costume again. So this is the last one, but I don't have a recent one. Then Jade from, I have one more wrestler after this, I apologise. Jade from Mortal Kombat. People love cosplaying Mortal Kombat, it's really cool. And my personal favourite, Storm from X-Men. And she did come down, I think this was before she cosplayed as her debuting in the match or in a match. She's also cosplayed as She-Hulk as well. Like, the paintwork was incredible, because like you could see like veins were painted on, which was really cool. This is the last wrestler. We have Selena Vega, who she is the cosplay queen. If Xavier Woods is the cosplay king, she is the queen. Pretty much every Royal Rumble she has come out to in fighting gear. So we have Vega from Street Fighter, then we have Sindel from Mortal Kombat, and Jury from Street Fighter. Now that was for a promotion, because I do remember Michael Cole saying, oh yeah, this is for Street Fighter. She has come out in numerous gear as well. I think at one point, I think it was Royal Rumble this year, we were not sure if she was coming out as the robot girl from Tekken, Asuna or something like that, I forget, the name escapes me. But yeah, these are pretty much all from Royal Rumbles. Vegas from 2019, Sindel's from 2020, and Jury's from 2023. She also does bring her attire to the ring, so we have the Akatsuki uniform from Naruto. And she also loves Demon Slayer, so she has cosplayed as Daki from Demon Slayer, and Rengoku. She has worn the Rengoku gear a lot. She changes her hairstyle, and I think she has like a crown that kind of depicts like flames. I haven't watched all of Demon Slayer, so I apologise if I got that wrong. But yeah, so what have we learned? Being an anime fan and a wrestling fan is awesome. Keep sharing your passion in the fandoms that you love. And do we have any questions if it wants to load? There we go. At the moment, Rhea and NA Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Kurt did draw some fan art, and I was just like, I don't know if I should feature it. It's pretty much him covered in maple syrup.
We didn't need to know that.
You know now. I wasn't going to feature it, but if you want to see the photo after, you can. You can talk about anything in wrestling or anime.
Breath.
Sorry?
Breath.
Oh, wrestling. I don't know. Brett Screamer, I don't know. Yes.
Have you seen any Kengan Shura? That's more wrestling heavy compared to Barku. Especially there's a few matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, super solid, super good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's versus like modern wrestling versus sumo wrestling is beautiful. Beautiful.
You can name that after, because I will have to watch that. Oh, brilliant, thank you. Any more questions?
Favorite wrestling match?
Shield. I mean, I love the Shield. I have to. I mean, they made me became a fan of Roman, and of the time before Roman was kind of pushed the wrong way. I mean, I even wanted him to become heel. I was a massive Roman Reigns fangirl, so it was fun going to an arena and like you're one of the few who cheer for him, and then everyone was like boo, sort of thing. But yeah, the Shield I love so much. I don't think there's any other factions per se, but that's the first thing I can think of straight away. So.
2 wrestlers from any time period you should have a fight?
Oh, that's a good one. I think definitely
All tag team.
Will Ospreay for sure, because he's incredible. I'm trying to think who he could fight off. Shawn Michaels. That would be quite a good match, I'd say. These are questions, I'm happy.
Would you ever do a panel on wrestling and video games now across the
I would do, because when I was learning about this, it's like there are so many things wrestling crosses with. I mean, even mangas as well, and I didn't even have a chance to cover that. Because there are more manga wrestling than there is anime wrestling when I was looking through this. So that's why it's kind of like I wanted to focus on the main ones that you should watch, and then ones like just break it down briefly. That's it. So, like I said, I am part of KitaMania. You can find us on Twitch and on YouTube. And like I said, you have the flyers in your bag. I also have plenty of flyers if you want to nab them. We stream every pay-per-view mainly, and whatever big stories come up. But we are expanding. So, as well as the podcast, Quiz Smash will be back in September. Quiz Smash will be on later on in the main hall after the opening ceremony. And then coming soon, we have a watch list which will be reviewing shows that are on streaming. So there are big ones at the moment like Batman, Caped Crusaders. We will be talking about that. Bunker Goes to the Movies. We did do a episode a couple of weeks ago talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. And it is on YouTube if you want to watch. And it is very spoiler full. So if you have not watched it, watch after you do so. But it did well actually, and it was kind of good to talk about movies as well. So yes, that is something, but we will probably be focusing mainly on wrestling, but we will be doing all of these as and when. So, thank you so much for watching, and those are all my... Claire made that gift of me, I had to include it, because I'm wholesome. And nice, honestly. If you want to chat to me at any point with wrestling or anything in general, please come up to me. I am super friendly, and I'm just glad this went off okay, and I can now relax. Well, I say relax, but I just kind of relax now after stuff. But no, thank you all so much for joining. I was worried no one would turn up, so thank you. Love you all. Thank you.